Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Morning Toast, a special edition of Toast. We have a very special co-host today, a fan favorite, Daryn.
Oh my God, and you called me special twice, so I feel double special today. I'm so excited to be back here.
We're so excited to have you, and more than that, the Toasters are so excited to see you back on their screens.
Your fan base they're the most supportive people. Like, I was having a really crappy day, and then so many people were like, so excited for tomorrow, can't wait to see you. I just was like filled with love.
Oh my God, we feel that way all the time, and we always like take like 5 minutes of every show just to talk about how the Toasters are everything, and like
they really are.
They really are. I'm so glad you've experienced it because it's hard to explain to people.
But it's so random. It's like a little random act of kindness. And last time I was on with Claudia, she made fun of me for my Instagram. So I was like, I need to story more things. And so she had texted me, and so many Toasters were like, I see you're giving us more premium content. I was just for you guys.
That's so funny. No, your Instagram is premium mostly because your handle is everything. Carpe Daryn.
Thank you. Which is just my name backwards. Everyone thinks it's like so clever, which it is, but it really is just like my middle initial is E, my last name's Carp, and there we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like you were just taking Carpe.
I was doing like Carpe Diem, but like it also works out perfectly.
That's a really great handle. I like
Thank you.
It's nice when things work out like that.
It
know, not everyone can be as clever.
Kismet.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So we have a very special show because Daryn is here, and because obviously we're going to hit you with the fast 5 stories that you need to know before you wake up and take a bite out of your morning toast. And then you are an expert on all things Bravo, so we are going to pick your brain. I have so many questions about Rahoni, and more so, one, behind the scenes questions, but two, like, I just want to know, as someone who is an insider, what your opinions are, because
definitely
something that Claudia and I struggle with is like we take sides on, some of the key issues, and we feel like we're on the wrong, like we don't know what's the right side, so I'm curious to know.
That's why we were silent like 10 minutes before going on with you guys, because we were like, we don't want to talk to each other. We're saving it all for you guys.
We were talking about Bethany versus Carol, and I found out that Daryn's team Carol, and I was like, don't explain. Like, I need to understand why on the show.
Yes.
So we will get into that a little bit later, recapping
it.
all of Bravo right now, including Southern Charm. I'm shook as hell.
Great. I was at the reunion. There was like a lot to digest there.
So
this is very like Southern Charm reunion-esque, like bright colors with a little green.
I feel like Patricia would like this set.
She would love it. She's
really
approve.
growing on me, actually.
You need like a Craig pillow in each of these chairs, and then you'll be fine.
We really do.
You have to get one.
Oh my God, thank you. And we will. And I feel like we can, even if we have to like buy them wholesale.
He would love it.
Oh my God. And he could use like clip art little champagne glasses.
Yeah, just like palm trees and like your faces. Like
honestly, the one that he was gonna make for Patricia that was 2 palms and 2 dogs looks like Theo, Claudia's dog.
I thought it looked like Waka, Andy's dog, and I was like, did he just take a clip art of Waka? Like, I'm so confused.
Oh my God.
So it's perfect.
He should have given that one to Andy. He gave him a crab's pillow, right?
Yes, he did. It's on his
couch. Does that
couch.
have a significance behind it, or it was just a style that he liked?
I think it was just a style he liked. It's currently on his couch in his office, but it matches the red, because his couches are red and the crabs are red, so maybe there was like a matching theme there.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
So much to digest.
So much to digest, including the fast 5 stories you need to know before you wake up and take a bite out of your morning toast. So let's just get right into them, talking about the same 4 people we talk about every day, because no one else wants to step up to the plate and do something interesting for us.
I feel like we have to.
I agree.
I'll strip on the show for you, Jackie. You know I will.
And honestly, you could, because this is a web show, so we can do whatever the hell we want. Okay, this first story actually was really crazy. Kim Kardashian begs Tristan Thompson to unblock her on social media. So if you follow Kim, you saw her Insta stories last night where she is at Khloe's birthday party, which looked so lit and like low-key and ideal.
Yes, it was my perfect party.
Perfect evening.
No one's there and everyone's having a good time.
And it looks like they're drinking, there's music playing, there's a fire pit. And like the sun's going down, and they weren't wearing a lot of makeup, which is just like such a good vibe.
Yeah, it's like Laguna Beach. It reminded me of that a little bit. It was very, very chill. I loved it.
Totally. I hope they were filming. But during the party, Kim asked Tristan if he should unblock her on Instagram following his cheating debacle and calling the situation so fucked up on national TV. All right, guys, it's Khloe's birthday. Should I ask this guy to unblock me? Kim quipped on Instagram. For Khloe's birthday, will you please unblock me? Tristan, who was laughing, responded, it's only right. I got you. Anyways, the Insta story continues. He unblocks her finally.
Yes, finally.
Also, Kim saw his list of blocked people, and Malika and Khadijah were also blocked, Khloe's best friends. Like, how shady are you?
Does Khloe not care?
honestly, I think she has like way bigger fish to fry with him that like that's not even on her radar.
Right, of course. But like his list, I mean, I just want to know like I want to know everyone on that list, and I want to be blocked by him.
No, totally.
Like that's my dream.
And then be unblocked.
Yes, on Chloe's birthday.
That on Chloe's birthday.
Yes.
Anyways, what a great gift for Chloe. I hope that means that like everything is.
They seem to be having a good time.
They seem to be having a good time. They seem to be happy.
Yeah.
And she had like responded to some haters on Instagram, like saying, you don't know what goes on in our household, like in terms of forgiving Tristan.
Right.
And you know what? I'm just gonna like choose to accept that they've worked it out or are working it out.
And most people don't know what goes behind closed doors, and like everyone is a different relationship. So just like if she's happy, mazel tov to her.
And like she has her baby, and
Right.
that's really what she's wanted for so long.
True.
What do you think about the name True?
I don't love it, but that's just because I think it's so often used that I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, and not in terms of a name. I'd just be like, oh yeah, that's true. Like true.
I
Like
agree.
it just feels, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like naming your kid like meme. Like
Or
I don't know.
like
It just right. Like they. It just feels like an overused term already, but it's really pretty and
It is, and apparently
it's
like
unique.
Chris's grandfather or one of Chloe's like great grandparents' nickname was True, or something like that.
Okay.
So it has like family.
It has some themes
meaning.
to it.
Yes.
I always want to know like the Kardashian kid names coming out with like Chicago and Saint and all that stuff. Like I just they're fascinating.
What's your favorite name? Kardashian kid name?
I think I don't know. Like I kind of like North.
Me too.
Like,
I think that's my favorite name.
I think North is really just like a dope name.
I
Like,
agree.
hey, I'm North. Like you can't really nickname it.
No.
No one's calling her No. Like, but that's also kind of a cute nickname.
They call her Nori, which is cute
which is cute.
for a child.
But I like North. It's dignified.
I agree, and it's like she's taken the world by stormy.
Yeah.
No, but like I really mean it. Like
Get
North. I couldn't not say that, but she really like Northwest. She's like an institution.
That's a fucking name. Northwest.
Totally.
That's a name right there.
You know what's really crazy and not talked about enough is that Kim's son Saint has the same name as Catherine and Thomas's son, and I believe that Catherine and Thomas did it first. Saint Julian.
Because Saint is. Well, he turned 1 or 2 on Southern Charm
I think
this
he
year.
turned 2.
Yeah, so that
Or
would
it
be.
was around the same time.
Yeah, and I doubt either one of them are stealing from each other. I feel like it was organic on their own. But if
I agree.
swear to God, if the Kardashians took it from Southern Charm, that would be my most premium content
You
ever.
you really never know.
You never know. I actually love the name Saint. I think it's really cool. But I actually think Catherine and Thomas's son is like adorable.
Both of their children are so cute.
So cute. So cute.
I can't wait to talk about all things Southern Charm.
Yeah, I'm loving Catherine this season.
Okay, I guess
Get to your fix. Get to your fast five.
I guess we'll just get right into it because I have been like ride or die for Catherine since season 1, and like
Oh, really?
yes, and even when she was going through all of the things that she was going through, like I understood why like and how that could happen, and like I just was so frustrated for her, and like even with like. And I love Cameron. Everyone loves Cameron. But, like, there were a few seasons where I just felt like she was on the wrong side of history in terms of Catherine.
Yes.
And, like, her and Whitney, like, just, like, not being nice to Catherine when, like, she was obviously going through so much and just trying to, like, do the best that she could.
Yeah.
And I'm so, so glad that there's been justice for Catherine this season. And, like, tenfold.
Major, and I will say there is justice for Catherine at the reunion.
That's
like,
what we've heard.
Cameron acknowledges, like, maybe being on the wrong side of history. I think now that she's a mom, it's a little bit different. She's getting a different perspective. But justice for Catherine this entire season. She's really like a role model.
She really is. She's a success story.
Yeah,
Like,
she is. And Thomas Ravenel is unraveling.
And as well he should. But what's crazy is we've seen, like, her whole journey on TV. Like, those children, like, she met Thomas on TV. Like, their whole...
And young. She was young. Like,
She was, like,
she wasn't
20
a full-blown adult yet.
I don't even think she could drink legally.
No, yeah, she was like 20, I want to say like 23, 24, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe 25. She was young. And so it's like really
No,
nice.
She's 26 now.
So then she must have been 23 when she
Yeah.
met him. Yeah, which is like young as hell to be on a reality TV 12 hours a day, doing this over and over, having children, having your whole private life in public. Like she's really turned around and it's quite nice to see.
Yeah,
Justice.
Justice has been served. Oh, my gavel is way too far, but I feel like so many people who have started Southern Charm from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like it's nice for them. It's like comes full circle, you know?
I think she's had the biggest transformation in terms of like how she presents herself in all of Bravo. Like, I can't think of a bigger transformation that quickly that's happened. That's such a juxtaposition of what she was 2 seasons ago.
And like the audience because the audience is
turned
hard
the
to
audience
win over.
Yes.
I imagine.
Right.
As a part of the audience.
You are our audience.
Right.
You know, like.
So she just totally turned the tables. She should write Turning Tables Part 2 with Teresa Giudice.
They should co-author a book.
They should co-author the book, Turning the Tables. Okay, in a little bit more Kardashian news, Kendall Jenner might have already moved in with her new man, Ben Simmons. The pair were pictured leaving a $25,000 a month rental, but they still haven't confirmed their romance. I don't know, I don't think this means that they've moved in together. I feel like maybe they just got like an Airbnb for the weekend.
Yeah, or like they were going looking at a property together, but not necessarily like buying it and moving in and having babies yet. Like that doesn't mean anything.
Agreed, and also like she was making out with Anwar not 3
Right.
weeks ago.
Right, so I mean, listen, things change all the time. Things can happen in 3 weeks. Look at Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande.
Very true.
Bringing it all back. I think it's funny that they were at a $25,000 rental when I think Sonia Morgan is renting her townhouse for like $35,000, $25,000, $35,000. So we know that she's not at Sonia's townhouse.
But she should be. And Sonia is another one who is having a moment. And what she's doing to her house, I think, is brilliant.
Yeah, well, I mean, she $35,000 a month. Like,
Yeah, no, she needed to renovate it in general just for like her health.
Yeah.
But
she needed to rid it of she needed to sage the whole goddamn thing.
But like it's genius. Like so many like fans who have that money to spend are gonna stay at her home and like she's gonna do really well, I hope.
She's gonna do that's like it's a massively nice house in the Upper East Side. Like if you can afford $35K a month, do it because it's gorgeous.
You get to be in Sonia Morgan's house.
Yes, and document like every little I had sex there. I had sex there. I'm in. Why don't we do it? Let's just do it.
I know. Maybe there's like a week rental. We could swing.
Just like do the morning toast for a week outside Sonia's townhouse.
Done. Okay. Well, maybe they should move into Sonia's townhouse. Speaking of quick relationships, wait. I just want to go back to Anwar Hadid for a second because, of course, it goes back to Bravo, David Foster, Yolanda Lemons. What was the pulse like at Bravo when Kendall and Anwar were spotted hooking up? Like, did anyone see that? Like, what did you guys think?
I don't remember anyone seeing it coming. I think we were all kind of excited that it all relates back to Bravo. Like, it's just funny, just like the whole community of it. You know, we'll find out like some random person in Europe is like the biggest Dorinda fan, and we just freak out because we're like, wow, we're a world organization here. We liked it. I mean, it wasn't crazy. I don't think anyone was like pissed off or whatever, but we were all very excited. It all relates back to us.
It really does. Okay, so all the details on Ariana Grande's karaoke birthday party with Pete Davidson.
Yes.
Did you see videos? They were actually being really cute.
Yeah, they're cute.
They are cute. They were singing Evanescence, which was a beautiful song for them to sing because she was singing the high parts and then he was doing like the screamo parts.
Yeah, well, because I don't think he's the best singer.
No, and she is. So I'm really glad that they like understood their roles. And a karaoke birthday party is like good, clean fun. It's good, clean fun, and I'm actually surprised that they would do it. That feels very like young and fresh and like low key to me for them to do. Yeah. I still can't really get over their height difference. Like I'm still really trying to process it. How tall is he? Do you know? I think he's like 6'4". Wow, and she's like 5 foot. But he looks taller because he's like 100 pounds. So lanky. And she's tiny. Yeah. She's like your size, like tiny person, and that. I am not a tiny person. And that height difference is like really bothers me. Like she comes up to his like thigh. That's so crazy. 5 foot and 6'3". Oh my God. 5 foot and 6'3". 5 feet. Oh that's my crazy. God. That is a 15-inch difference, I believe. Insane. Well, she always says wear big heels that probably give her 3 or 4 inches, and then she wears like a headband with cat ears that gives her like another 2. Oh, okay, that's smart. And her pony gives her like another 5. So she's basically 6 feet tall. So she's taller than him. They have been really low key actually. Like they've been like at Whole Foods in Chelsea. Like even though the only thing that's not low key about is that she's like always stepping out in like full hair and makeup, look, sweatshirt in the summer, thigh high boots. Fine. Yeah, I appreciate, it's like hipster chic in a weird way. Yeah, no, I appreciate her dedication to the glam. Yes. Like it's very Kardashian of her. Yes. Pete Davidson could use some of that. He really could. He needs to sit down in the chair. Like just like touch it up a little bit. Touch it up. Yeah. Just like. Well, speaking of, Anthony from Queer Eye was at the birthday party. And the Queer Eye guys were on Watch What Happens Live.
Yes, they were.
This past week, and I want to hear all about it. And also, I want Tan to give Pete Davidson a little sprucing up, which he is. We reported yesterday he's helping him dress for the wedding.
Oh, that's so.
Don't you love when like things make sense?
Because I could see him wearing like a white suit, like shorts with like sneakers. You know, like that's so Pete David. I don't know. He just like throws on whatever. He needs a little makeover.
He does, and he needs a little JVN in his life.
Do you think they're gonna last forever and ever?
Like, so this is what I've said.
You believe in love.
I believe in love. Like, I love love, truly.
Right.
And for them to be engaged like so quickly makes absolutely no sense. So the only reason I can think of without like going down a dark path is that they're so in love.
They're so meant to be.
They're meant to be the one. They knew love at first sight. Like, this is it for them. So like, with that said, like I have to believe that like, they're gonna. I mean, I don't know about forever and ever because like people change and they're still very young. But I think I have to believe that they very much love each other.
Would you have gotten engaged that quickly with Zach?
Ooh, that's a great question. I feel like at 6 weeks you're like still like so in a bubble that's like actually the perfect time to get engaged. It's like it's like 4 months later, right? Because you don't like know the person, and then it's like 4 months later you're like, oh shit.
You're like, oh man, this person sucks.
So maybe that's where they're at. And actually, that would actually make sense, them getting engaged that quickly rather than like 3 months.
Yeah, because you're like the height of the honeymoon phase is 6 weeks, where and you still don't know, and like everything is perfect.
But you feel like it's been a long time.
Right, and you're just like, we're never going to get into a fight. Like, I can't wait for their first fight.
I wonder what they'll fight about.
Oh my God, I don't know, but I hope it's good. I hope it's juicy.
I hope that we find out about it someday.
Yes, but we believe in love.
No, but all couples fight. No relationship is perfect.
Correct. Definitely.
So the Queer Eye men were on Watch What Happens Live.
The nicest men ever.
I just caught up with it last night. I was so excited to watch. What was it like behind the scenes?
It's like fabulous. Like that sounds like a very like overused term, I think, at Bravo, but it felt like them coming home, because that's really where they got, like, the entire franchise of Queer Eye got started on Bravo. Like that broke Bravo, that and Project Runway, which is also coming back.
Yes.
So it feels very like throwback a little bit. And even though it's some new guys, it was just the vibe. Andy gets along with them so well. They're his people. It's just really nice, and they're super stylish.
Yeah, they are. I didn't realize that Andy had produced the first, the original Queer Eye.
So that came on when I said to you I've been at Bravo for 7.5 years. That was like just as I was coming onto it. So they had just, like, Queer Eye was already off the air by the time that I came on, but that was his like first breaking out in the mold of like producing something for Bravo. That was Mage.
So crazy. So that's really full circle to have like the new cast members.
Oh yeah.
And Karamo actually auditioned for Queer Eye because he saw that it was coming back on Watch What Happens Live.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Again, it all relates back to Bravo.
It really does. Who is your favorite?
I really like Anthony. He also looks like my gay cousin, and like almost to a T. So I really just like feel like he's like my little brother. And Karamo I've watched forever. Like,
really?
Yeah, he's been on.
He was on The Real World, I think. Yeah.
I watched him that season, then he was on a few MTV things because I watch MTV. So I've sort of been in his ether a long time. But you know, when Queer Eye first came out, they were like, Daryn, you have to watch it because I'm crying over it. I was like, you're crying? They were like, the transformation just makes sense. I was like, okay, fine. I watched it and like, I definitely got teary-eyed.
100%.
It's not the same thing that it was. Like, you'd think that now, 2018, gay marriage, it feels like everybody could be gay. It still felt relevant. It was so nice.
So relevant, so timely, and I think like so well done. Claudia and I had a very long discussion about this. Like,
of course.
How they touch on issues in just like such a way that's so well done.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody feels like represented and spoken for.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a superficial show. It's deeper than that. It's not just like, wear your hair this way. Like, it's a whole transformation of just
from the inside out.
How you carry yourself, and that's Mage.
That's Mage. I haven't watched season 2 yet because I'm saving it.
Me too. I haven't been. I'm gonna like binge.
Of course. Once I start, like, I can't stop. I'll probably do it this weekend.
Yeah.
But I've just been saving it. Actually, Zach started watching last night without me, and like it was understood that we were watching. We watched the first season together. Like,
that's literally my definition of cheating.
I was like I was so shocked. I just remembered that right now.
Did you yell at him? Like,
I was just like, what are you doing? Like, I was like, you're not watching Queer, like, because he has been binging The Office and I've been binging Mad Men, like, so we've been like doing our own things, but I didn't realize The Office had just ended and he just like went right over.
You
to
really need to have like a sit-down conversation before you get officially wed to this man.
He's out of control. Just so inconsiderate, I can't. Anyways.
And I shan't.
And I went. This next story is really crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how into or like concerned you are about Scientology, but Claudia like can't get over it.
I could go down a rabbit. That Leo Ramini series like is my favorite thing in the entire world.
Okay, because this story is wild.
Yeah,
it says the Daily Mail reports that Scarlett Johansson fires back at ex-Scientologist who claims that she auditioned to date Tom Cruise. I didn't know that like that.
Oh, I know about auditions to dating Tom Cruise.
Really?
Yeah, like I heard Katie was like in there.
That makes sense.
I mean, remember when they got together? Like, do you remember that whole thing?
It was so strange.
It was just, boop, they're together and in love. Like,
yeah.
It was, and I had the biggest crush on Katie Holmes because, like, Joey Potter was, like, my girl growing up. Like, she was the reason I knew I was gay. I was just like, I love you so much. So then when she got married to Tom Cruise, I was, like, devastated. And I went down this huge, dark, like, rabbit hole. And then I read all about Scientology.
Okay, so the story goes that the 33-year-old beauty fired back after ex-Scientologist Brendan Tickey told Megyn Kelly today on Wednesday that she'd auditioned to date A-lister Tom Cruise in the wake of his February 2001 split from Nicole Kidman. The very idea of any person auditioning to be in a relationship is so demeaning, the Ghost in the Shell star told The Hollywood Reporter. I refuse for anyone to spread the idea that I lack the integrity to choose my own relationships. Well, but you're saying that people do audition. I mean,
it's Hollywood, right? Like, I feel like that's a known thing that people do that.
Yeah,
you know,
there's
like,
a show on E about it, The Arrangement.
Right, and like, hey, I have to go to a red carpet event and I don't want to go by myself, so like let me bring a hot model or a hot this or a hot that. Like that is what Hollywood is.
Right.
That's not surprising. I understand her being offended by it though.
By being like looped in with these people.
Especially if it's not true. I mean, especially if it's true, but if it's not true, then yeah, I mean, I get her wanting to stick up for herself.
I totally agree. And like no one wants to be dragged into the Scientology mess that like isn't
new. I mean, I'm obsessed with Elizabeth Moss, like Handmaid's Tale, Mad Men.
I'm season 5 Mad Men right now. I just found out she's a Scientologist.
It really crushes my soul. Like it's the one thing that I can't get over. I cannot get over it. I can't love her because of this one thing. And it feels bad. I feel bad, but I love her work, but I don't understand her being in Scientology.
Like I love John Travolta so much, but he is like king Scientologist.
I mean, he's Tom Cruise. He's like the other face of it. I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
His wife was on Watch What Happens Live, and she's like the nicest person, and she was just like, John is so sweet, John is so this, and I'm like, she must know. We never asked her about Scientology, but she must know like all the rumors that circulate about him, everyone that talks about Scientology. Like, I just wonder how she deals with that in her real life.
I agree.
Like, how much is Scientology affecting their day-to-day?
I'm sure it's everything.
At least John is married. Tom was not, so maybe there was like some, they were being his like gay mafia holdback. I don't know, but it's like bizarre.
Do you watch Riverdale?
I don't. I know Andy had an appearance. He wants me to binge.
You should.
It's on my list.
Okay.
I know I don't want
to put pressure on you.
I know it's like the most attractive people in the world are on that show, though.
And I think you would really like it.
Okay.
Because also, and the first few episodes of the first season, it's like you're gonna feel like, what am I watching? Like it feels like fake, like weird ABC Family, like weirdness. Yes. But it gets so good.
Okay.
And
all right. It's 2 seasons.
It's 2 seasons so far. The second season has like 22 episodes, so it's really long, and it's just really wonderful. But there is a character, I think Hermione Lodge is a Scientologist as well.
Really?
I think so. That's what I
heard. Because when Andy was on, I know that he was with Hermione.
Yes.
Right, okay, yes, okay. It all comes back to me now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so crazy when Andy was on. We were so excited.
He was freaking out. He was so excited. They were filming in Vancouver. He was like, I'm going to be on Riverdale. Oh my God, because Mark Consuelos is like his really good friend.
Yeah.
And so I was arranging it for him. And he's like, do you watch it? I was like, no.
Oh
and he's like, just read the script. And, we were like reading the script together. I was like, I need to binge this.
Because now when you watch it, you're going to like, and this always happens to me. We'll
Freak
have
out.
a guest on the show who I'm not familiar with their work, then I'll go home and like watch it or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, and now I have all these questions and like need to know all these things.
Seeing him on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt last season also was weird for me because I'm a huge fan of that show. And like because Jane Krakowski was like auditioning to be a housewife. And the way that he had handled it, I was like, it's so meta.
That's amazing.
It was great.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is amazing, except this, Claudia and I were saying, have you watched the new season?
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes, and it's the last season.
And they're coming out with 6 more.
Are they?
Yeah, as part of like the second half of the last season.
Good,
Thank
'cause,
God.
Like, the first those 6 were like,
I agree. And
a
they
little lackluster.
dedicated one whole episode to the fake documentary.
Right. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. I like the interplay. Titus is my favorite.
Titus
like,
is my
have
favorite.
more of him. Like, have him sing more songs. Like,
Also,
that's it.
Jackie Lynn is also my favorite.
Well, yeah, that's,
I love her so much.
she is Bravo. Like, she is Bravo.
No, I know. I also just love Jane.
Yeah.
As an actress.
Me too.
In everything.
No, 30 Rock. She made 30 Rock.
Even in the Tropicana commercials.
Yeah.
You know,
So
the role
true.
of a lifetime.
With like her working out with like her hot black trainer. I'm like, ooh, love this.
Me too. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Forgot
Okay.
she's in Tropicana.
Right?
Yeah, that's funny.
Next story is so sad. Queen Elizabeth falls ill and cancels an appearance.
Oh no.
I know. I hope she's okay, but she's just feeling under the weather, which, I mean, shouldn't be too much to write home about. But luckily, Angelina Jolie showed up in her stead. I don't know if it was actually in her stead, but Angelina Jolie went to St. Paul's Cathedral at the dedication service, and the Queen was not there. But then it got me thinking about Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And just like her role.
She hasn't been around recently, right? Like
Right.
in terms of like being in the press and the spotlight.
Exactly.
Like, I hear things about her and Brad Pitt sometimes, but
Right.
Yeah.
She's been very quiet, and now she like steps out in like the royal.
I kind of like that. She's like a full philanthropist now, like a full humanitarian. Like she has
Agreed.
moved past her acting career.
Totally. But I just wondered, like, why now? And also, why didn't she go to the royal wedding then if she's clearly, like, in royal circles?
Yeah, I don't know why she wasn't at the royal wedding. That could have easily been, though, something with her kids, something in her career.
true.
Like, that could have just, and maybe she wants to stay out of the spotlight because I feel like the Brad thing really messed with her. It messed with their whole relationship. And I think when you have kids, you don't really want that to be a big, you don't want it to affect it as much as it is. And everyone is obsessed with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Like, you couldn't get a more Hollywood couple than
No,
that.
you really
Like,
couldn't.
That's Hollywood.
When I first read it, that they were divorcing, I didn't believe it for a second.
Yeah,
I
you're
thought
like-
it was like Jennifer Aniston is pregnant again. Like,
Right.
just like fake news headlines. And then TMZ reported it, and I was like,
You're like, that's official.
Yeah.
That's where
They
that's
have-
basically the Bible telling you.
like
so.
they have court documents. Like, that's that.
It was kind of upsetting because you're like, if the two most beautiful people in the world, like, there's more to marriage than that, but it can't make it work, then like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
I'm fucked.
Right. And especially like, and we've heard so many weird things like about their
Yeah.
relationship now. And I mean, I don't know whose side you've taken in the matter.
It's tough though because I don't really like. There was that whole thing where he was like addicted to weed, and I'm like, can you really be addicted? Like, is this just like, who cares that he smokes pot? Like,
Right. And like,
is it affecting the kids? I don't know. Like, I read something that he was kind of abusive in a way to them, which I don't condone. But like, is that true? I don't know.
I read he got drunk on a plane
Right. Like,
and was like yelling. I don't know.
see, that's the thing. I don't know. There's not enough specific details about it for me to really take a side. Like,
I agree.
love Angelina. I really, really love who she is. I usually like all of the work that she does. She's super smart. She's a good philanthropist. But I don't like, so he was yelling on a plane. Like, my parents have yelled at me before. Like, what were
And
they
it was
saying?
a private plane.
Right, like, right. If it's a private plane,
You can
feel
yell.
free to yell at your children. I certainly would have taken it better as a kid if my parents had a PJ.
Totally.
I would have been fine. I'm like,
And
yeah,
like, I
yell at
understand.
me. Right.
You work very hard.
Yes.
No, and also when things come out about each of them, it just makes you wonder like why it's coming out, and
Right.
like it just makes you question their motives and everything.
There's not enough detail, but too many stories about it for me to take a side. I just hope the kids are okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
But they all have each other. There's so many of them.
And they're like wealthy, like they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, now that we have covered all of the news of the day,
Yes. Bravo.
let's talk Bravo because Rahoni last night was great. First of all, I'm loving the Grace Mayflower Inn.
Okay.
I literally asked Zach if we could go next weekend, and he said no.
Okay.
But maybe I think I would rather go in the winter anyway.
I like a winter vacation.
It's very Hallmark vibes.
It's just romantic and warmer. Like a summer vacation, I'm like, ugh, it's sticky, it's
And-
hot, I don't want it.
And you can like go to the beach.
Yes, winter is like, it's a perfect time. So you're loving the season.
I'm loving this season. Like, it's just really crazy because I find myself not knowing like who to trust, who to believe,
Okay.
and also like I don't know how to like trust my own judgment too because I feel like for a long time Bethany like has always been a crowd favorite, but like
Has she always been your favorite?
no. But I've always liked her, always respected her. I feel like,
Right.
but when she like gets in fights, she is a know-it-all. Like, she definitely throws people like when she
She's hard to fight with.
Right, when she was yelling at Sonia about like the cheater brand a few seasons ago, like that was just like peak Bethany for me. It's like, why are you going in on this girl? Like, she's not going to steal your brand.
And she doesn't know. Like, it was no malintent. Like,
right.
Sonia didn't know.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. So now this season, like, to find myself on her side is just so interesting because I do really like Carol. I really, really like Tinsley, which I don't know if you get that a lot.
No, Tinsley's like the sweetest person. Like, she's sweet as pie.
No, and I just like her on the show. I think she just like adds something that the show needed.
She's like the Eloise, but like a Sonia type person where it's just kind of like, life is great, but also she's a real like for her to be good friends with Carol, I think you have to be intelligent. You have to be a good conversationalist.
So in this battle, we have chosen Team Bethany.
Wow, both of you,
both of us, and we can't believe that it seems like we are like on an island here, and the way that it's edited, the show, we feel like Bravo is taking Carol's side. And you have taken.
Really?
Yes.
That is the most shocking because so many people feel the opposite.
And more than that, we're surprised that Bravo's taking Carol's side because Bethany is clearly like the bigger housewife. She's on another show. Right. Like she has more so we were surprised by the editing.
I mean, let me just say this season, like what Bethany single-handedly did for Puerto Rico was unlike anything I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Like, you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize if that's what you're doing and chartering private planes. So aside from that, because that's just like such a monumental thing, the Rahoney drama is just in its own little bubble. So let's take the Puerto Rico thing out of it. I feel like so many people think Bethany gets a good edit. Like, so many people.
I feel like in general she does, but in this situation, like, she's not.
So what don't you like about, like, do you not believe Carol? Do you just not like how she's treating Bethany? Like, what made you turn?
I feel like I can understand what happened between them. Like, they had a summer, they didn't see each other a lot. Carol is very close with Tinsley. Yes, Carol is doing things that she wasn't, like, she's traveling. She is, like, very fashiony, hair, being selfies, Tinsley, not that there's anything wrong with that, that's literally my biography, but she wasn't doing all of that before as much.
Yeah, she was definitely
more serious.
Converting her kitchen to like a journalism room. Like, she was much more serious.
So I understand how there's a divide between them, but I think that's normal. Like friendships ebb and flow.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to write home about. No, like there was no bad blood. But the fact that they can't get on like solid footing again is concerning. And then I think what does it in for me is like in their interviews, it's very clear that Carol is still in the moment, like mad at Bethany and going in on her, whereas Bethany in her interviews is like more reconciliatory, if that is a word.
I think they both want it deep down. Like I was interviewing Dorinda last night for my weekly pregame on Bravo TV, and we were talking about it, and I was like, what is going on with them? And she's just like, I feel like they both, like it's kind of eroded. Like at first they were both like, okay, yeah, we really want to make this work, and then it didn't really happen. They were like, well, let's try again, and then they were just like, you know what, I'm too lazy to like even make this happen. Like it just has faded away, and they're not the best of friends, and they both have such like stubborn egos because they're both so smart.
Yeah.
And Carol can really, a lot of people can't give it to Bethany because Bethany will come in and she'll attack you, and she's super smart and she's super witty and she knows how to argue, but Carol is like a thinker.
Yeah.
Like, so when she's not responding to you, it's like hard to read, and I think that confuses Bethany. And so I think their egos and their stubbornness are like, they're not connecting because of that. Like neither one of them is willing to just be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I miss you as a friend. And if one of them just said, I miss you as a friend,
but Bethany did say that. Bethany texted Carol saying, sent her a picture and said, I miss you, and Carol said, that's a lot. So it's not over. And
did you see those texts though? Did you see that?
No, but Carol, and then like they're
know,
also
like,
so annoying because it's like Bethany will say, you said this to me, and Carol said, no, I didn't. But then Carol doesn't say what actually was said. They're so like caught up in the details. Their arguing is like really frustrating sometimes.
And they're staying in the same house, like in Cartagena. Like just fucking apologize to each other. Like who cares what it is? I don't know if it's like a jealousy thing though.
Well, and perhaps because they're both like the smart women of the group.
Yeah.
And they're both very self-aware, which is why when it came out that they were fighting to begin with, like there were like stories in Page 6, and I was like, I couldn't believe it because best friends, like who are both aware of the public position that they're in, like don't like air each other's dirty laundry or their own.
Definitely.
So that what was really surprising is that like the rift was real.
By the way, what do you think of Carol's fashion this season?
Not here for it.
it's very avant-garde to me. It's
Yeah.
very high fashion.
I've always loved her. Like the past few seasons, I felt like she had the best style of the women. Like just always just like so downtown, cool, effortless. And this season, I don't feel that way. She was wearing like a tracksuit in Connecticut
I saw that.
that just was doing nothing for me.
You were not feeling it. You were not feeling it. But do you think that because Carol and Bethany are on the outs, that Bethany has focused her efforts on Sonia and has transformed Sonia?
Yes.
So she's doing good.
She's doing okay. And you know what? If I were her, I would do the same thing because you need like a life raft in this situation.
You need an ally.
And she's doing the same thing with Luann, who I think it's perfect timing for that.
Well, I think Luann needed, Luann has actually made quite a transformation this season. Because all of a sudden, I mean, the editing has been amazing where she slips out of the cuffs and then comes back and now she's she's not drinking. She's having a great time. She's still the life of the party. That's what I love about Luann. She's not down in the dumps saying, I can't drink. She feels good about it and she's still kicking it in a wig, loving life.
I'm so excited to see her in that wig. She looks amazing.
She was ready for Cartagena. She went in full force, and it was great to see. But it's, you know what I'm curious to see about the reunion, seeing what I think is going to be Luann, Sonia, Bethany on one side, and the rest on the other. We've never really seen that.
No.
So this divide this year is going to be crazy, and I know that those riffs are still going on because I spoke to Carol a couple weeks ago and she was like, yeah, Bethany aren't really talking.
And the blog posts say it all.
Yeah. And I mean, this is, they're commenting from a blog post about an episode that just happened. So I'm like, okay, are you guys did you guys make up outside of camera? And she's like, not really.
And now it's please don't make up, save it for the reunion.
Well, yeah, exactly. I want to see some.
Do they film the reunion soon?
We are filming it in mid-July. So yeah.
Cool.
3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
You have to have me on after that so I can give you some of that gossip.
No, definitely. Also, there's a rift between Bethany and Dorinda. And Dorinda went in on Bethany in her blog.
Yes, but I feel because this season, Dorinda, the way that it's come out, Dorinda has kind of been anti-Sonia and anti-Luann, and that's Bethany's squad this year. So of course there's going to be a rift there, and she's going to stick up for her. But I think the Nutcracker incident.
What are your thoughts on Claudia and I thought that was such a nothing burger. Bethany couldn't have been more happy, grateful, jumping up and down, clearly over the moon, and she thanked her in the Berkshires, and then at the house she was just. No, you can't script your excitement.
I agree. When I first watched it, I was like, she said thank you. She's just overwhelmed because obviously Brynn really wanted this goddamn Nutcracker. She was just so happy that she did it. But I also know that, the way there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we really realize. And I think because Bethany's reaction was so grandiose and so big, she had just, this girl just donated $50 million to Puerto Rico and she's literally crying on the ground from the Nutcracker. I think Dorinda wanted something more. And I think no matter what, because Bethany is who she is, you want her acceptance, you want her approval.
Right.
Even if you don't want to admit it, who doesn't want to be praised by Bethany? That's I want to be praised by Bethany. I don't do anything. I'm always Bethany, do I look pretty today? Always. So she just commands that attention. And I think Dorinda really wanted her to be thank you so much for doing this for me. I think she really wanted that extra mile. I get it. It was a nothing burger.
The extra mile was there. She was on the floor. And I feel logistically, what Dorinda did was get Bethany in touch with the guy, the Christmas guy.
Yeah.
So in the Berkshires, when Dorinda does that, Bethany is oh my God, thank you, we're getting the Nutcracker. So then at Bethany's party, she's thanking the guy who brought it all the way here. She already thanked the Dorinda
It
step.
had already happened, and then I think Dorinda really wanted more praise, and I think that she felt she got. I don't think that was indicative of there being a rift, but I definitely think that was the start of something major.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's really crazy, but I honestly, as much as it's shocking, it's necessary in order for the show to move forward sometimes. When everyone's always in a good place, Beverly Hills, for example, sometimes no one wants to get their hands dirty.
Right. And everyone's kind of backing away from the drama, but no one really wants to see that.
Right. Exactly. So I'm grateful for this shift.
And the shift this season, I feel is so different than any other season, and it feels divided, but also super cohesive because no matter what, even if Luann is on Bethany's side and against Carol, everyone supports her sobriety, everyone supports her no matter what. Ramona's all over the place. It's a great show.
It's a great show.
I can't wait till you see the boat.
Oh my God.
I can't wait.
So we just got the mid-season trailer for Rahoni, and it looks insane. So I was just saying to you before the show, like when Rahoni premiered, I was like, I'm so excited. This is great, but I want to see Luann get arrested.
Right.
Luann's been arrested. I'm like, this is so great. I'm so excited, but I want to see the boat. Like,
yeah, it's a milestone to look forward to for sure. It
looks insane.
It is insane. It is insane, and I don't mean that like, oh my God, there's so many fights. I mean, the boat trip itself is just absolutely crazy. There is a lot of toilet trouble.
Oh my God.
I'll give you that. Lots of toilet trouble. That's not very girly-like, but that's what makes it fun. But everyone was like too sick to fight.
But how like serious was it? Like, were they really like in fear, like for their lives?
Yeah, that's what they said. I mean, I think there's a certain caliber of trip, like especially, you know, like seasons 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've been doing this forever. They're like, everywhere they go, for the most part, is like absolutely gorgeous. You know, maybe not, it's not all tequila Mexico, but everything is pretty high end. So
Yeah.
I think when this kind of happened and they got a parasite and it was very, very crazy, they were scared. They're normally not having like toilet troubles on Real Housewives of New York.
Right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
like another level.
It's legitimately another level.
Did you see the photo of the ladies at the airport returning from the trip
Yes.
that went viral, where it's like Ramona's in a wheelchair, everyone's like sitting on the floor, they look like,
But Ramona would be in a wheelchair.
of course.
Like that's who she is. Like
Right.
being carted around. Like
And
that's Ramona.
Oh my God, do you know that, so we love Ramona, we love everyone,
Yeah.
and we just think Ramona looks so incredible.
She looks the best of all of them and is the oldest.
Agreed, and so we went to her Dr. Sharon-Gizi.
Did you?
I got Botox by her last week, my first round.
Was she amazing?
She was amazing. I'm obsessed.
What did it feel like to get Botox for the first time?
It was the it
Also,
was
you don't need Botox.
No, I had like a frown line here that just the line bothered me, and two, I didn't want to be able to like make that face because I would make it even when I wasn't angry, and it was giving me a case of RBF, and I'm so not an RBF kind of girl.
You are not an RB. You are smiles for days, girl.
Thank you. So it just really bothered me, and I wanted just the best.
Yeah.
So it hurt, but the needle is like so tiny that it's like such a tiny
It's like
pain
acupuncture.
that it's like how this isn't gonna like actually hurt me, you know? So it was a weird feeling. It was very quick. Like definitely got a little teary-eyed, but I was like smiling the whole time. I was so excited.
Were you numb after? Like would it swell and then go down, or was it fine?
No, it was fine. I bled a little bit, which is like
It's normal.
It's normal, but most people don't. I guess I'm a bleeder, and like I had a little bruise here, but honestly, I didn't mind the bruise because it reminded me of the good time I had at Dr.
Oh
Sharon.
my God, that is so fantastic. One of my best friends just became a dermatologist. She just literally finished her internship, and I was like, so in 6 months we can all get free Botox, right? She's like, yes, definitely. I was
Oh
like,
my God, that's a good friend.
yeah, I was like, you're my best friend. That's why I've stuck with you for all this time in med school.
Wait, speaking of dermatology, we have so many questions because
Yeah.
you have the most amazing skin.
Thank you. Oh my
What
God.
is your routine, regimen, products you can't live without?
Okay, the product that I can't live it out that probably gives me the most dewy glow is Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick. It
my
is
goodness.
literally amazing. It's probably, I don't know, $50, $75. Not crazy. It lasts forever, and I kind of just touch it up. There's different palettes of it, but I have like a bronzer one that I kind of just use as like a face lightener.
Do you do it before your makeup or?
No, I do it. It's kind of like my last step.
Your
So it's
your
yeah,
highlighter.
it's basically my highlighter. I always take my makeup off before bed. Like that is every time you ask a dermatologist, like the thing outside of smoking and alcohol, it's taking your makeup off before bed.
Elemental.
It's
What makeup remover do you use?
key. If I told you, you'd be so embarrassed.
I'm in the market for a new one.
I literally use Vaseline.
What do you put it?
I just take Vaseline on a tissue and I just take my makeup off. And
Even
then I
your
use
eye
like
makeup?
especially only my eye makeup, and then I use like a Neutrogena face wipe that my girlfriend introduced me to.
That's what I use the Neutrogena face wipes, but I don't feel
They're good for travel.
They're great. Oh my God,
They're like
We
the best.
literally-
The best
we
for
did
travel.
a Patreon episode about like beauty and skin tips.
Yeah.
Claudia and I were talking about Neutrogena face wipes and how they're great like makeup remover, but sometimes now I need something a little bit like stronger. But when you're traveling, it's
like
like
the
manna
best.
from heaven when someone gives you one.
It feels like a face wash. Like you don't even need to put water on your face. You just like
You can go to bed straight.
Yes, but I
Agreed.
use Vaseline always for my eyes.
That's so interesting.
Because I find that other makeup remover, when you use it like it's like an oil, it just doesn't get all of it off. Vaseline gets everything off. And you'd think that your eyes would be all blurry and crazy, which I'm sure most of you probably think. No, it's great. It makes your skin super soft. It's cheap. And it works super effectively.
So just a tissue and Vaseline. I'm doing it tonight.
I swear to God, it's just that. That's the only thing that I use. And then a Neutrogena face wipe. I use Sebamed as a face wash, which is like pH balance for your face, like a dermatologist recommended it. And then I just like put on my healthy glow.
Because you're so glowy. I love
Thank you.
glow.
Oh my God, last time I was here and your sister took a picture of me, my face was this light. It was like this, and I texted her. I was like, you told me that you were gonna put a filter on me. You told me you were gonna make me look good. She's like, well, I made myself look good. I was like, I will kill you. And I wrote on it, I was like, justice for me, because my face looks like an oil slick. And I was very upset. So you have to make sure today we don't do that, Jackie.
I would not do that to you, but it's so crazy because in person, your face looks perfect. So
Thank you.
then say in pictures, like, that doesn't translate. But who cares? Like, I feel like looking great in person is what actually matters.
It matters, but I just don't want, if I'm taking a picture with like a housewife, I don't want to look like I'm like sweaty and gross because they look so elevated that I just want to look normal. That's it. I don't need to look like I'm glamorous. I just want to look not like an oil slick. That's all.
That's fair.
Thank you.
I don't think you're asking for too much.
That's it. But the skin remedy, it's very important. Skin is like very, very important to me. And I hydrate.
Agreed. Cleanliness and hydration
And
are the two
don't
pillars
smoke cigarettes.
of skincare.
Yes, and I don't smoke cigarettes.
Me
so
neither.
there you go. Like we're already like ahead of the game.
Yeah, totally. Okay, now I'm going to take a lot of viewer questions because we have so many questions
Let's
for
do it.
you. First of all, you have a podcast.
I do.
Martinis and Murder. What are you working on right now?
Oh my God, we work on so many things. We actually just updated another episode in the mix called Another Shot, where you kind of get to find out about me and John, our personal lives. We take viewer questions. It's very fun. We play games. And then we do a murder each week. We're doing a ton. We actually recorded yesterday about a murder that I had never even heard of, but that was very popular with like this religion. It was this Branch Davidians murder. They killed a bunch of people. It was insane. We're going to do Timothy McVeigh soon. We did Casey Anthony recently.
Is there any murder that you won't do?
There's definitely murders that are hard to do because of all the legal stipulations of it. Like trying to do Jean Bonnet, we did it, but it was really, really, really hard because he's still alive and we don't want anyone suing us. It's pretty difficult because we're part of a network and we have a lawyer on the line. We can't really say our opinion. Like we all have our opinions on who killed Jean Bonnet.
Right.
Right.
That's
like,
literally what I asked you last time.
Yeah.
Like that was my first
and
question.
I gave like, it could be the brother, but I understand if the parents hid it because, you don't want to lose two children at once. Like that's the PC answer.
That's frustrating.
As opposed to being like, this is who did it. It's really hard. I have my own opinions.
And how do you feel about like Netflix shows like Making a Murderer, The Staircase? Have you watched
it? Binged it, done.
You watched The Staircase?
Entirely.
Who do you think he did it? I didn't watch it.
I
watched
gotta
the
say,
trailer.
you should watch it. A lot of it is actually just like legal, kind of just watching how the legal process works. At first, I was like, he definitely did it. All the blood that was there, no one falls down the stairs and has a bloodbath. No one. But by the end of it, you're kind of like, could it have been one of those really weird freak accidents that you're just like, there was reasonable doubt. Like, I don't think that he should have been convicted, even though I think that he probably did it. I don't think there was enough evidence.
Oh my God.
Which is sad because so many times you're like, you definitely raped her, you definitely did that, but there's just not enough evidence to convict. And like, we have to trust the court system the way that it is, and it's really frustrating.
That's so frustrating. You saw the episode of Kimmy Schmidt where they're like trying to do like a Netflix type documentary about Reverend.
Yeah.
And like trying to prove his innocence. That was really funny. That was very, very meta.
It was super meta. That was very like zeitgeisty. That hit it at the proper time. I donate a lot to the Innocence Project, which basically it deals with like DNA evidence to exonerate people who are on death row. And so I'm a huge advocate of that. So for me, like evidence is really, really major. And that makes it more frustrating because I wish we could almost just vote based on our feelings, but like how many people would be innocent in jail because we feel like they did something and they really didn't?
Yeah.
And it's just like wrong place, wrong time.
That's so tough.
I learn a lot by doing the podcast.
So how do you prepare for an episode on a case that you've like never heard of before?
So we basically have like all of our research handed out to us a few days before. I read it. I look online, I'll watch videos, sometimes I'll watch a documentary about it, and then John and I just kind of go. Like, we don't talk about the case separately because we both want to come at it from our own angles, and we just kind of go and we riff, and there's tons of research behind it, and again, we have a lawyer on the line. We have to edit out anything that we say that might be bad, which happens because like I make bad jokes sometimes, and
It's so hard.
and you're talking about like a really serious subject.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be like, ha ha ha, she was murdered. Like no one wants that, but you
Right.
want to make a situation funny with also honoring the victim. It's a little bit difficult. But yeah, I prepare on my own. There are some murders that I'm just so obsessed with that I know that I won't need to prepare because I know so much about them.
Yeah.
Like Charles Manson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you excited for the movie?
So excited. I mean, anything Manson related with like the Hollywood Hills and like all that stuff, I'm just like,
Who's playing Sharon Tate?
isn't it?
I heard it was I heard a rumor that it was Hilary Duff, but I think that was false.
Why did I think it was like Margot Robbie?
Because, well, first she was like, people were talking about her, and then Sharon Tate's sister said that she's not pretty enough. But then I feel like I heard that she is playing her.
Sharon Tate's sister said Margot Robbie was not pretty enough
to play Sharon Tate.
Is she blind? Because Margot Robbie's like the best looking, outside of you, the best looking woman in the world. Like the best. Like
no, I know.
She's like my number one. Like you can't get prettier than Margot Robbie.
Agreed. And she's a great actress. She would nail the role.
She played Tonya Harding amazingly well, and she didn't even look attractive in it. I was like, how?
That was so crazy.
That was a great movie.
That was a great movie, and I didn't see it for like a few months.
Yeah.
And I'm Team Nancy all the way, and I am so ashamed to say, but that movie like really got me thinking. Like,
yeah, you're like, maybe Tanya's not so bad.
Exactly.
But think of how she grew up. Not that it's an excuse to like club someone's knee, but like, okay, she didn't have the easiest life. No one was like supporting her. She was like white trash, and she like really changed. She became an Olympian. That's amazing.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's not so black and white.
No.
Okay.
Positive vibes here on the Morning Toast this morning, Jackie.
We're all about positive, toasty vibes only.
Yes.
Tell us everything about Andy and John Mayer. And I want to know about the Andy birthday special that was hosted by John Mayer.
Yes.
How did that come together?
That was the hardest show to do because everything was a surprise to Andy. So literally I had to like book his car, and I was like, you're gonna go do the show for your birthday. We're not gonna say the guests. Like it's a surprise for your birthday. And he was like, okay. He rolled with the punches. John and Andy had this bromance. Like I've never seen Andy so giddy happy than when he's around John. And when John walked out, as you can see from Andy's reaction, he was like,
yeah,
that was genuine. Like
Yeah.
you can't fake that. He had no idea. All the guests were amazing. Like Andy probably would have been happy with Dorinda, but because John took time out of his touring schedule to be there, like it was really magical.
And his like OG friends were the bartenders.
Yes, and those are all of his like that's his squad.
Yeah, that's what Claudia said because she has read all of his books, and so
Those are his
she
legitimate.
knew them.
Those
Yeah.
are like his friends that have been with him when he was like a little awkward Jewish boy in St. Louis. Like they have ride or dies,
That's
and they're
so
all
sweet.
so nice to me. Like they're just really genuine people. He's got a great squad around him.
That's great. I feel like he has a good mix of celebrity friends and like real friends.
But that makes him humble because someone who just has celebrity friends, I'm like, no.
But you also like when you're a celebrity, like you must have some interesting celebrity friends. So
you must.
I think it's a really good mix.
Yes.
Were there any other birthday plans that you guys were toying with for the big extravaganza?
we wanted everyone to kind of come through, like Cher or Diana Ross, anyone major and big, but he and John Mayer just felt so right. And, John Mayer has performed a number of different times. He was there actually on Andy's actual 50th birthday that we celebrated. It was a really nice room. It was a mixture of all of his real friends and celebrity friends. Not that his celebrity friends aren't real, but you know what I mean. And then John Mayer, like, surprise performance, and it was heaven.
That's so sweet.
It was heaven. And John is actually the nicest guy. Like, he introduced him to my girlfriend, and my girlfriend was like, Comfortable was my favorite song when I was like 18. My girlfriend's like in her mid-30s, and he leaned over and sang it in her ear. And she like cried. Like she was so happy. She was like, I'm not well from this. I'm not well. And just kept saying, I'm not well.
That's crazy.
Like for 2 weeks straight, wouldn't talk about anything. John Mayer is currently in the background of her phone. So my boss and my girlfriend are obsessed with this guy.
Right.
I just have to, I like him just for that. Like I just accept him for that.
That's so sweet.
He's a sweetheart though. He's really kind.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it. I'll tell Claudia because she loves him.
Okay, good.
And then I think she knows that now he's really kind because he's like been through a lot, full circle.
He definitely has relationship troubles, admittedly, and he talks about it. And he's like, it's so great to be friends with Andy because it feels like no one wants to be friends with me because of my dating history.
That's so unfair.
Well, it is unfair because, again, like when everything is in the spotlight, like you just don't know. I mean, even watching like Real Housewives, it's like you don't really, it's 80 hours of footage for 1 hour of Housewives.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So think about the 79 hours that you're not seeing. Like,
so
that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, think about all the other things that have happened.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe most of that is mundane, but the other stuff, like, there's juice there. And I think the same thing with, like, Hollywood Stories. It's just like, or Brad and Angelina. Like, you don't really know.
Well, another epic Real Housewives feud that we felt like we were on an island.
Yes.
Teddi versus Erica. I would love to get your professional opinion.
Okay, I actually really like Teddi.
We love Teddi. We've had her on the show. We were with her a few weeks ago at a party.
Cool.
She's such a cool girl. She's so like normal. She's beautiful and just like sweet and like just cool and down to earth.
She is one of those people that's actually stunning in real life. Like, she looks pretty on camera, yes, but they all do.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen her completely dressed down. I've interviewed her for Weekly Pregame. She's like real, considering that she's John Mellencamp's like fucking daughter. Like, she's down to earth.
Agreed.
I don't think it's a facade. Everyone's like, oh, she's just playing that for TV. I was like, no, it takes too much effort to do that. And she's constantly that way through and through. I think Erica, whom I worship and I love, and I think she's like her own special soul and literally could run the world. You know, I mean, she makes fun that she's like a little bit cold, and I think when Teddi being so warm, it's you know,
like
it's fire and ice. Like,
yeah.
it's oil and vinegar. As what did
Who
Teresa
said
say?
that?
I think it was Teresa. She's like, it's like oil and vinegar. She's like, you mean water? Because oil and
Vinegar
vinegar go
mix.
together.
Yeah. That's so
So
funny.
it's like oil and vinegar. So I don't think they can read each other, and that's what I think the real problem was with that. And I think Erica knows how to, you know, be biting. And I think when Teddi said that thing, and you don't talk about Erica's kids, like, you just don't talk about her family, and you can tell she doesn't really want to talk about it. Like, she always wants to move forward in her life as opposed to looking back. And so I think that's going to be a really bad trigger for her. And Teddi was just learning kind of what was the trigger and what wasn't.
Yeah. Oh
you
my
know?
God, that's scary
Whose
too.
side were you on?
Erica.
Okay,
But we were on Erica's side just because honestly, like, we're just such like lemmings for her. She can't do anything wrong. And also, I just felt like Teddi wasn't stepping up to the plate as in terms of she was being too sensitive.
Yeah.
And she was honestly having too much of a normal reaction when she needed to have like a housewife reaction.
It needed to be bigger. It needed to be fuller. It needed to be a little bit more dramatic. Like, it felt so calm. So when you look at the Teddi interview bites, you're like, this isn't a bad fight. But when you look at Erica, you're like, oh shit, like, Teddi crossed a line. Like, oh my God. So it was kind of cool to see that. I'm on both of their sides. I understand it.
I've come to terms with that. But also something interesting, season 1 Dorit, like, we were not here for. Like, oh my God. And honestly, I think if we would have supported her, like, not coming back. And season 2, like, we loved her season 2. And most people had the opposite experience.
She got a pretty bad rap this past season.
She did. And I don't think it was earned. Like, I thought I really liked her this season.
I think it was the drinking glass incident that just like, oh, I won't drink it out of like a solo cup or this and that. She's actually a lot more down to earth than that, and I think that's like a fun facade for her to have. It's like a little quirk. Like, I don't think she's gonna like throw the drink on the ground and be like, get me another. She just like, that's her thing. Like, that's her thing. I love her hair. She's gorgeous in real life.
I love the
She's
dedication she has to her style and her glam, and like, she's always serving looks, and like, so is Erica. But that's like Erica's full-time job also, and Dorit just does it for fun, which I really appreciate.
But like, Erica giving her lessons on like how to like sing to PK is like, that was a moment.
I totally
agree.
It was a moment. And when they were in the first few episodes, when they were like getting along in Vegas, like, there was nothing better.
Yeah, nothing
I
better.
didn't even realize how much I needed their friendship.
Dorit would be the most fun, I think, to like actually hang out with and go out with.
Agreed.
Because Erica, while that would be so much fun and I would kill to be in her squad, I think I would try and impress her way too much because she's Erica Jane. Whereas Dorit would be like, chill. Like, I bought a t-shirt the other day because I saw Dorit wearing that, and I never do that. I was like,
really?
Dorit's wearing it, I have to buy it.
What t-shirt?
It was, it's something at Intermix, NSF t-shirt. It's like, she was wearing it in white. I bought it in like army green, and it's kind of like ripped, but it's cool.
That's so
And I was
cool.
like, so Dorit.
Speaking of West Coast, OC's coming back soon.
Yes, it is.
What can we expect?
So I think, well, did you like last season? Because I felt like a lot of people didn't, and I think it got a bad rap. Like, all of my friends.
I'm going to choose to blame Peggy.
That's fair. Peggy Salahian. I mean, I was never the biggest OC fan. Like, that was probably the last one I kind of hitched a ride onto, even though it's the original. Mm-hmm. According to Andy, he says this season is much better. Like, Vicky brings it. It's really got good chemistry. It has good drama. So I'm just hoping that it kind of pulls through, because I did kind of find last season to be a little bit of a bummer, but it's only up from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love Kelly Dodd, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Like,
She She texted me.
She's
because
someone
she
else
wanted
who's had a major transformation, like, on the show. Because after her first season, I was like, this woman is a liability. She's evil. She goes below the belt. Like, they shouldn't have to be around her. And now I'm like, if you ever take Kelly off the show.
Do you like Megan King-Edmonds?
Like, I only will forever love her because she exposed Brooks.
Yeah.
So she'll always be good in my book. But as a housewife, like, she wasn't doing that much for me.
Yeah, she was kind of, you felt like she was over it.
Yeah, she was over it. Like, she had a lot going on. She was, like, between cities, and I felt like she was spread thin.
And do you like Tamra?
I do like Tamra, and I love Tamra and Shannon. I love Shannon Bedore.
Shannon really, Shannon, I mean, listen, we saw a lot of weight gain there. We saw a lot of issues going on. Like, talk
She's
about
the
having
every
an exposed.
woman.
She is, like, what real people are.
I totally agree.
Not that they aren't real people, but it's easy to relate to Shannon Bedore because I feel like that's something that everyone goes through.
I completely agree, and I really hope that we see like the re-emancipation of Shannon Bedore.
There will be justice for Shannon
Oh,
Bedore.
yay! That makes me so happy. Also, do you ever think Heather Dubrow will return?
I don't, although that was definitely in the ether for a while, but I think, I mean, listen, she could make a comeback like Bethany where it's like you give it 3 seasons and then all of a sudden it's like you're really new and interesting again.
Yeah.
I think we have to wait a little bit more time for that to happen, but I mean, listen, anything is possible. I think, do you want her to come back?
I loved her.
Okay.
I thought she brought like a different touch to the OC, and it was always welcome, but the show goes on without her as well.
I love a brunette.
Yes.
Love a
oh my
brunette.
God, you're so Heather Dubrow.
Love a brunette.
What housewife of all of the franchises, and we were just talking about this this past week, do you think deserves like a second chance that you would like to see come back?
So I saw this question come through and I was really thinking about it last night, and I was like, it's hard to say because like I would love Jill Zarin to kind of come back. Like I really think it would be a very interesting dynamic now having Dorinda here and all the women have sort of grown up, like to see Jill kind of thrown in. And we saw her momentarily at Bobby's funeral, which was super sad this season. You know who I kind of really, I liked her, but I don't think she offered a lot was Kristen Taekman. Huh. And I see you judging me, Jackie. I see it.
No.
And listen, she wasn't Housewives Vibes.
patiently for
but
the
she
explanation.
was so attractive.
Okay.
So it's like the lesbian coming out of me that's just like my own little thing.
Right.
Just my own little thing.
Very fair.
I'm not speaking for the viewers here. I know I'm not speaking for you. I get that. I understand. You know, there's a couple Jersey people, like sometimes I think like Dina or Caroline, just to throw it back in there would be really, really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if Phaedra came back, that would be just a whole other ball of wax because that was so terrible how it ended.
So terrible.
So
do you
for
think
her,
that she could ever?
I don't, because I don't think any of the women want to be around her, and you can't really have a show where like you're so isolated. As you said, you really need an ally on it. At least one person who's going to speak up for you when no one else is listening to you. She doesn't really have that.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be everything that we want it to be.
Very fair.
Who do you want to come back?
We were talking about this in depth, and I think Grande Glanville is the kick in the pants that Beverly Hills needs.
Could you imagine if Grande Glanville came back but was on Real Housewives of New York? Like imagine her and Bethany.
No,
that's what I want to see. Like I want to see that.
One housewife should move to a different city and like join a different franchise. That would be so interesting.
It's like a wife swap.
Yes.
Like that would be great. That would be great.
Done. Okay. What is the craziest or most elaborate gift Andy has received from a Bravo celebrity?
A few years ago, probably like 5 years ago, we got a box of vibrators.
Ooh, from who?
I think it was like to celebrate when Candy was doing like her
That's what I was
Candy Coated
thinking.
Nights, and now she has her own like talk show on
I saw
Sundays.
a preview for it.
It's literally, so I spoke to her last night. She was, I spoke to her last night and I was interviewing her and I was like, tell me some goss. Like, what is the juiciest thing? And she said that Erica Jane on the after show goes, like, she is so freaky and like so spicy. She used the word spicy to me. She's like, you have to see it.
When is Erica on?
I don't think she's the first episode. I think she's like 2 or 3. So
okay, we'll keep an eye
but
out.
like definitely watch the after show because that's where you like it's the web, so you can go deeper than you can. But she said it was like unreal, and for Candy to be saying that, I was
that's
like,
crazy.
Oh my god,
that's so exciting.
That's a lot. So I think because it was either like in response to her coming on the air, or maybe it was sent by her. It was legitimately 30 vibrators of like high-end vibrators, and I had to go into Andy's office and I was like, do you want these? And he was like, you know what, Daryn? You can keep them. And I gave them to all of my friends, and I would just like pass them out like I was
so
Oprah,
funny.
like $300 vibrators, like passing them out. One of my friends has this was like 5-6 years ago, had never orgasmed before in her life. And I gave her this, and I was like, courtesy of me from Andy Cohen to you. And she went home that night, she's like, dare I say that Andy Cohen gave me my first orgasm? And I was like,
That's hilarious.
And she's gay, and I was like, that needs to be the title of your first book. That is amazing.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, I have one final question for you because we're out of time.
Shoot.
And it's very random, but something near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
Ladies of London.
Yes.
Will we ever see it back? And why did it end? Was it only because Caroline moved to Dubai?
I don't think that was the only reason. I think that, ratings have a factor, fans have a factor. I think there's so much programming on Bravo that other things just kind of trumped it with Vanderpump Rules and Southern Charm and 7 Housewives franchises. I don't want to say never because we always need a show abroad. I don't see it in the near future.
Okay.
It's got to come back and be like retro and hip again.
I loved it so much. And
Oh
I
my
love
God.
Caroline. I still follow her. Like, she's everything.
Oh my God. I'm really not going to forget, Jackie, your face when I said Kristen Takeman. And
I
now
just-
I Takeman it back because my God,
No.
your face.
I was just not
It
what I
was
was
Judge.
expecting. Because, like, I thought it was
You
going to
were
be,
like,
like, one of the,
Really?
the heavy hitters.
No, it was, listen, I love an underdog.
Okay.
I love an underdog.
I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
being
having
here.
me.
I
This
feel like I
was-
could still ask so many more questions. Like, Jackson and Brittany are engaged, and I'm so excited for Vanderpump Rules.
Very excited about it. It's going to be great. He told me he got a ring like 6 months ago, and he was just waiting to kind of propose until we were back filming. So I knew he had a ring for a while.
And I appreciate him doing that because, like,
Yeah.
he's in tune with what's necessary. If they started the season and they were just engaged and we didn't get to see it, like, that would be a bummer.
That wouldn't have been fun at all. He's
Right.
smart. He knows what he's doing.
We say that all the time, and he's a wonderful reality TV star.
Yeah, and did you see that at the Columbus Zoo, they named a new monkey, Jax Taylor, after him?
No, I did not see
you
that.
need to see that story. That is in your top 5 stories. That's what you need to do. And it was named after him, and he, like, had tweeted at them. They were like, because we're such Vanderpump Rules, at a zoo, we're such Vanderpump Rules stars, like, we're going to name a brand new monkey, Jax Taylor.
That's amazing.
First and last name. I was like, that's awesome.
A firsty lasty.
Yes.
It always comes
Firsty
back to a
lasty.
firsty lassie. Daryn, thank you so much for being here.
My
Where can
pleasure.
everyone follow you, listen to your podcast, etc.?
At Carpe Daryn is for all of my social handles. Martinis and Murderers at oxygen.com. You can find it anywhere you get your podcast, and bravotv.com/weekly pregame.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go enjoy your weekly pregame right now. It's only Thursday, damn. Tomorrow we are back with Lauren Everts-Bostic, The Skinny Confidential. I'm so excited.
Ooh.
And have a great day, everyone. I'm taking Theo for a walk because it's Aunt Sneetch's day out.